So, Jim, we've been talking about the industrials this morning and
every
debating,
minute, right.
do we own them, do we not own them? We are underweight the group pretty significantly on purpose because we wanted to avoid this, the bad news. But maybe just like we could talk a little bit about the group, what your thoughts are.
Well,
and
every time I feel like it's right, you wake up and you find an Illinois Toolworks, which is just cutting earnings so dramatically that you have to just bet that over a series of days there'll be some downgrades and you end up with punishment. Goldman Sachs put out a fabulous piece last week, and in it talked about it divided the world among value with growth, value with declining growth, value with dividend possibility to grow, which is really only Verizon and AT&T, and then growth with dividend. And the least favored sector was industrials for all the reasons we talk about, because dividends could be in jeopardy. Earnings momentum is clearly decelerating, and there's no real sign of a bottom for those whatsoever.
No, it actually sounds like things are getting worse.
Definitely.
On the margin.
Right.
And that's what this market's all about, right on the margin. If things are getting less bad, like in the rails, we were talking about Union Pacific this morning, volumes are getting less bad. They're still atrocious. But
that's the transport rally. Right. Now, one of the things that I find when you're at this juncture is that you have to bet on consolidation, which, you have to bet Alcoa that they get a takeover bid. You have to bet that ITW merges with Emerson, whatever. And that's been a bad bet because the credit markets are frozen for all but the soft goods, like drugs. Because if it's just going to be earnings alone, if you listen to what Bernanke said last night, none of this is touching industrial. Industrial has clearly, one of this, again, referring to this Goldman Sachs piece, industrial peaked in Q3 of 2008. And they've just said that there's never been a trough as fast as Q2 2009. And I think it's worth it to remember that that it's a competition of what to buy. And the competition is going to be lost by industrials, given the fact that it's almost impossible for a manager to sit here and take the pre-announcements.
Right, and you could go towards the high-quality companies. We've talked about 3M or Emerson or even Honeywell, but it's going to be a long time before those stocks actually go higher.
Right. Honeywell was still saying that things are good. So, my worry is that they would change their tune. Right. The Emerson, I worked a lot on Emerson this weekend. Emerson's a disaster. There's just no way they can make the numbers. We center on Caterpillar because it's an infrastructure play with a good dividend, but it's an accidentally high yield. We don't know. They've done a lot of things to try to bolster the balance sheet and cut costs. But in the end, if there are 2 more quarters of bad, then CAT won't work.
Right, and that's why when we bought CAT, we said this is really one that we want to look beyond the trough, beyond the valley, to see if eventually the global economy improves. They will benefit. Right. But it's not going to go straight up.
No, and that's the lesson of Black & Decker, which is more, obviously it has more early cycle to it, but consumer-oriented. But what I think the lesson over and over again is that when in doubt, go with a high-yielding oil where the dividend can be raised, or go with the General Mills where the dividend can be raised, and accept the fact that you're not going to make as much money on certain up days. Like with that portfolio, you will not be able to go be up 10%, or 11% with the S&P up 10%. You'll be up 9%. Right. And you accept that 1% degradation in order to be able to be not nearly as hit when the market declines 5%.
Right. So we're going to stay underweight, and we'll stay patient.
Good.